Hello, friends. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been so long since I've done a live for you guys. I think it's been a couple of weeks. And so today's topic is overcoming self-sabotage. And I am like the queen of self-sabotage, maybe not so much anymore, but I have a lot of history with this. So for those of you who are new to my group, I know I have a ton of new members and that's really exciting. So welcome. My name is Morgan Danielle and I am a life coach and Reiki master. I specialize in helping women overcome and rewire their minds after trauma so that they can release dependency on self-destructive behavior. So, toxic relationship patterns, substance use, and food. And so I wanted to talk about the art of self-sabotage because it creeps in our lives and sometimes we don't even realize it. We sometimes just aren't aware. And so a little bit about my self-sabotage. I made a post yesterday about how 4 signs of self-sabotage, and it was overindulgence in food, sex, gambling, shopping, whatever it may be, just overindulgence in general, initiating conflict, overly self-critical, and what was the other one? And procrastination. And so I caught myself the other day. So I struggled deeply with self-sabotaging relationships. I was in a few abusive relationships and I really struggled with, I would always initiate conflict because I was scared of getting rejected. I was scared of getting hurt. And so I would push that person away or say something totally ridiculous to get a reaction to see how much they cared about me. And that just pushes them further. And so that's something that I have really began working on, and I've actually been successful with this. I've been talking to somebody for a month, and I've noticed myself want to say these things to push this person away, but becoming self-aware is so important. So once you're able to actually be aware of these behaviors, that's when you're able to change it. So I always say awareness is the catalyst for change, right? So self-sabotage, why do we do this in the first place? And it comes from, one of the main reasons is self-esteem. We lack self-esteem, we lack self-worth, we believe that we don't deserve success, and on some level, it can even be self-hatred, which was, again, something that I really struggled with a couple years ago. And so, sometimes we don't want to get rejected, we don't want to get abandoned, and so we try to gain control of this situation by making that first move before that other person can reject us. We just start pushing them away out of our own defenses, right? And so sometimes we think that we're not good enough to achieve a goal that we have. So it always comes down to not being good enough, not feeling good enough about ourselves, and not feeling worthy or we deserve something, right? So basically it just makes it really hard for us to achieve happiness. And so hey Ashley, hey Gina, and hey Morgan. Morgan, I am so glad that you're on this video. I think this is going to be really helpful for you today. So we're going to start talking about overindulgence. And so what overindulgence is overeating, getting wasted, substance abuse, binge watching TV, anything that you do in excess to avoid feelings, avoid any negative feelings, maybe avoiding being with yourself. So it kind of creates a escape from all your stress, all your negative feelings, whatever situation that you're going through that's uncomfortable. It creates a distraction. And so how to stop this is to really look at why you're doing this behavior. So be aware of it and think about the underlying emotion that's behind it. I used to be an emotional and disordered eating health coach before I became a life coach. And I always say the underlying, why I switched was because the underlying issues are all the same. Whether it's an eating disorder or substance use, we're all trying to escape from the same thing. And so we have to really acknowledge our feelings. Like, we need to stop running from them, because our feelings are our messengers. It tries to explain to us what's going on. Like, when we're feeling anxiety, when we're feeling something bad, it's trying to communicate something to us. So running away from it is only going to create more resistance, and it's going to come back stronger, and it's going to come out in other weird areas of your life. So we have to start acknowledging them and processing them. We don't want to dwell in the feelings, but we need to be able to process them and not avoid, right? So also looking for a way to replace your stress. So whether that's going on a run, whether that's going for a hike, whether that's calling a friend or doing something like going to get a massage, any healthy distraction, you can journal, meditate. Those are going to be really great ways to process your feelings in a healthy way, and keep yourself from going to that self-destructive behavior. And so the second one is overly self-critical. There's a voice in your head that makes you filled with self-doubt. It's constantly telling you that you are not good enough, that you're not capable of doing the things that you want, that you have to figure things out before you even get started. It's kind of there. Originally, it's there for protection, but it's now turned so negative that it actually keeps you from, it's meant to keep you in your comfort zone. And so getting out of your comfort zone is exactly what it's trying to avoid, because it's not comfortable. And so being overly self-critical is it's a way of self-sabotage. It can keep you playing small and keep you from really excelling and going into, that next level. And so how to stop self-criticism is turn the self-criticism into self-compassion. And so what I like to do here is, whenever you think about your mistakes, you keep beating yourself up. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I messed up this again. Start thinking of your accomplishments, because we have to be able to outweigh this inner critic. I always say crowd out for everything. So if you have overwhelming self-critical thoughts, you have to crowd those out with better feeling thoughts, right? And so the way that you do that is, for every negative thought, you just have to think of 2 positive ones, right? So think of things that you've done right. You can focus on things that you're proud of, your accomplishments. If you were helpful to somebody, yesterday, you can even go down to really simple things like, I made my bed this morning. I make my bed every single morning, because if everything else in the day goes wrong, at least I can come home and say that I made my bed. So it's like one of those small things that you can do to help that inner critic. Is you just have to, we don't want to run away from the inner critic. We don't want to ignore the inner critic, because then it gets louder. And so I tell, all my clients, you want to thank the inner critic and then choose love instead. So that's one of my favorite things, is like, when you hear your inner critic, it's just trying to keep you safe. So you can say, thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I choose love instead, right? And then every day you can write down 5 things that you're grateful for about yourself. So for myself, I love that I'm determined, that I'm ambitious, I'm kind, things that you feel like are a good asset that you admire about yourself. And sometimes if we have these really this nasty relationship with ourselves, if we don't have that self-love or that self-compassion, it's really hard to find those things. But this is a great opportunity for you to start training your brain in the way that is, hey Kelly, in a way that is going to start benefiting you. This is all about repetition and rewiring your mind. So every time you do these things, you're rewiring your mind to continue thinking better thoughts that are ultimately going to turn into better feelings, right? So my third one is procrastination. And so what procrastination is, I'm sure we all know, I have been procrastinating going to the gym. Ever since I quit drinking, I have like not eaten as well, and I haven't been going to the gym because I'm like, oh, like I've lost so much weight. It doesn't matter if I don't eat healthy and I don't go to the gym. But all in all, it's not about that. It's about being healthy. So I've been procrastinating going to the gym. I did go last week, but I'm trying to make it like baby steps, once a week. I used to be a like workout freak, and I'm like an all or nothing person. So I'm making baby steps, making progress so that I'll go like 3 times a week, right? And so procrastination, you wait till the problem gets worse before you deal with it, or you'd rather chill out and unwind before you get something done for work, or something along those lines of procrastinating, doing like, say you tell yourself, I hope one of my clients is watching this, she's been telling herself that she's been wanting to quit drinking, but she's been procrastinating with it. And so this is where we have to kind of take our emotions out of it. We don't want to operate on how we're feeling that day. If we do that, then we're screwed, right? So what we have to do is we have to start making things non-negotiable in our mind. We're not going to feel like working out all the time. We're not going to feel like quitting drinking when we say we're going to do it. But this is where we have to have that integrity, and we have to do what we say we're going to do. And so giving ourselves a little bit of tough love. I used to think like self-care was all about like giving yourself an easy break, like letting yourself like, fall back on things. And I mean, sometimes that's great, but self-love and self-care is more about having that self-discipline, which means what are you doing for yourself today that's going to make you a better person tomorrow, the next day, a year from now, right? So to stop procrastinating, you have to sorry, I'm reading my notes. Okay, so how to overcome procrastinating is to take those baby steps. You have to set deadlines. Tell yourself when you're going to do it, put it in your calendar, and take baby steps for it. So I started putting my gym in my calendar so that I make that non-negotiable. Once it goes in your calendar, it's non-negotiable. That is when you have to do it, right? So, and don't overwhelm yourself. A lot of the time, self-sabotage can also look like overwhelming ourselves. So when we give too much, like we force ourselves to do too much, and then we can't get it all done, and then we just throw in the towel and say screw it and don't do anything at all. And so taking those baby steps and learning to do small action steps at a time, so that you can, once you do one thing and feel accomplished, then you're going to feel accomplished to do the next thing and the next thing, and your self-esteem is going to build, and it's going to build, and you're going to go up that ladder. And then initiating conflict, my favorite one, because this is literally something that I am still working on. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm getting a lot better. I have not self-sabotaged with the person that I'm talking to right now. I haven't self-sabotaged it yet. And so initiating conflict is linked back to telling yourself that you're bored. In these circumstances, you either push people away, you start picking fights with them, you either want to get back to like that comfortable zone of chaos, which is like what I operated on for many, many years of my life. So having conflict is comfortable for somebody that has had trauma and that has been in fight or flight for a really long time. So being able to, and also if you've experienced hurt or rejection, like I said before, like when we've experienced these things, our defenses go up. And so in order to control the situation, we don't want them to reject us on their terms. We want them to reject us on our terms, which is why we start this conflict, why we start these things, because if they do it and we know why they did it, then that makes it more comfortable for us, right? And so, you need to, in these moments, you need to practice self-control. You need to be aware that you're doing this in the first place. And so this requires mindfulness. So being mindful, if you know that you self-sabotage, if you know that you experience these things, then when next time you're in conflict, next time you get that like bored feeling and you're like, okay, what can I stir up now? Start to realize why you're doing it. What's behind it? Is it feelings of rejection? Are you feeling like you're not getting enough attention? What's lying beneath that? Do you fear that your feelings are going to get hurt? So practicing self-control, when you get that urge, acknowledge it and take a step back and rethink it. We don't want to be impulsive here. So when you are about to tell that guy that what I used to do to initiate conflict was like, I would say that like another guy hit on me or something to like make my boyfriend jealous. And so I would feel like he cared about me. And so next time I feel like I want to cause that conflict, or because I don't feel cared about, I'm going to take a step back and realize that it's not him, it's the way I'm interpreting things. And I'm going to rethink that, and I'm going to stop myself from having that kind of communication. And this is where open communication and healthy communication is really important. So when you're feeling that way, when you're feeling not important, you feel like you're going to get rejected, it's okay for you to tell these people that. It's really important to have that open, honest communication so that this other person can understand where you're coming from. Otherwise, you're going to continue to push people away, and it's going to be a pattern. So that being said, self-sabotage you are in control of this, and we just have to locate those wounds of where this self-sabotage is coming from, and we have to begin to heal that. So when we heal our abandonment issues, when we heal our broken hearts, when we raise our self-esteem, when we raise our self-worth, these things are going to dissipate. But it does take practice. Yes, they'll dissipate and they'll lessen, but it also takes action on our part to say, when we're going to quit drinking, you need to freaking do it, right? So your urge is going to lessen when you've healed all these things, but you still have to take that action of moving forward. You have to take the action when you say you're going to go to the gym. I'm taking my own advice. You have to start taking that action and knowing that you are in control of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know that self-sabotage is not easy to overcome. And again, it's just repetition. The more that you practice this mindfulness and awareness, the easier it's going to get to start understanding these patterns and reversing them. So if you are watching this on the replay, #replay, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.